Good morning, everyone. This is Erhan speaking. So I will begin my storytelling now. So as I was preparing for my topic, I came across a documentary called "The Old Jing and His Regular Customers," which was shot in 2002. So it tells the story of an old man called Jing Kui, who was a traditional folk shaver in Beijing, and he started to do shaving from 1930s and stun shaving not only for ordinary people but also for like many celebrities at that time. So what he did was to go to the customer's house by tricycle and do the shaving for them. So this can be seen as a lost craft, and it has now been replaced by many modern hair salons. He is called the legendary shaver in Beijing. But despite his excellent skills, he always insists one principle that no matter how time changes, he only charges 5 Chinese yuan for every shave. He shaved for decades, and the price haven't changed yet. And he was still dedicated to his job as a shaver. He practiced his whole life, and the razor in his hand was actually played by his magic. After nearly 80 years of shaving, Old Jing passed away with the image of the old craftsman left in people's mind. So after seeing this documentary, I couldn't help to think about myself. So Jing Kui has been persisted in shaving or like his career about 80 years. I've also lived 20 years in this world. So do I have anything that I persisted for a long period of time? A skill, or even a hobby? Then I found the answer in the one of the in 12 of the years in my life, music. So I started to play the piano when I was 6. That was my mom's idea that I should begin my journey with music. I actually didn't have any conflict about this idea. Instead, I found my interest and gift in music. So as I was young, I never thought that I could play the piano for the whole 6 years. I enjoyed playing it and listening to classical music very much. I even had a dream of being a professional pianist, and of course, it's just a dream. But I went through the amateur piano grading test like most of the kids, and I passed them all without any surprise. Then, when I was about to enter the middle school, my mother found another reason for me to persist in music. That is the youth orchestra in my middle school. So I agreed to her without any hesitation. And out of tens of instruments in a symphony orchestra, I picked this one, the double bass. So after a few recommendations from the music teachers in my middle school, we decided to find Professor Young and ask him if he could take me as his student, because that double bass is not a very popular instrument and there are very few teachers that are dedicated to it. But for me and my mom, the main problem would be how we could find him. And then one day, I went to pick up my certificate in a piano shop, and me and my mom saw a white-haired man talking to the staff in the shop. So I recognized his appearance immediately because he was not only famous for his expertise, but also his head full of beautiful white hair. So I said to my mom, "Shall we go and talk to him?" My mom said, "Definitely." So we went with a little bit of fear and just asked him, "Hi, may we know if you are Professor Young?" And he greeted us and said, "Yes, this is me. Is there anything I can help you?" So we then asked him if he was still available for students. So surprisingly, at that moment, he just took up my hand and said, "Oh, this is a very beautiful hand that is perfect for playing double bass. I will definitely take you as my student." So I was so surprised that in this moment I came to him just out of any like coincidence, and he just take me as his student. So I started the second half of my music journey. I was so fulfilled that I said to myself, as long as I'm playing the musical instruments, the music will never leave me. And playing the instrument for me is the best way to be with music. So that was the thought at that time. So I started to play the double bass and also act as a player in my school's orchestra. I went on the stage with the orchestra on the 30th anniversary of my middle school after I just learned it for like 3 months. And also, there are many routine rehearsals, and it is on every Friday, and it became the ecstasy for me. I fell in love with double bass and also another form of music this time. The playing of double bass actually involved me to stand continuously with the bass for like 3 to 4 hours, no matter it is for the rehearsals or the official performance. But I didn't feel any bit of tiredness. I enjoyed it so much that I played for another 6 years. So for the whole elementary school and middle school, I persisted in music for like 12 years, which is also something that every time when I say out loud, I would take pride in myself. But when I entered the university, things changed a lot when I didn't even realize at that time. So in my undergrad university, there is no orchestra or any like music club that can provide the place for me to enjoy the music or kind of playing the instrument. And my life was no longer filled with practices, rehearsals, or performances. I was especially frustrated when I saw my middle school fellows, they're actually enjoying the orchestra in their university. Like today, I'm having these rehearsals, tomorrow, we're having on a show. So every time when I think about how I was separated with musical instruments, like after 12 years, I actually feel sad about myself. And I even cried many times when I listened to some of the pieces that our orchestra once played. So I kept thinking about myself. Am I the one who gave up on things that I loved? Am I giving up the music that I love? So the state of mind confused me for about a year until one day, that was my last examination of my freshman year. So it was at 2018. I was so excited because I was just in one exam away to my summer vacation. But when I was going through that exam, a melody kept appearing in my mind. So if you guys could remember, in 2018, that was the summer, that was the release of Blackpink's new song, "Do Do Do Do." So between every sentence or word that I wrote during the exams, there's always the melody of "Do Do Do," and it actually came with the picture of the members of Blackpink, and they're actually doing the gesture like "Do Do Do," and so the melody is also with me throughout the exam. So I was quite annoyed at that time because like being brainwashed is something that's very annoying sometimes. So, but and also when I finished that exam, I still cannot erase the melody from my head. But it was the time that I realized that music is still with me, right? My life is still filled with music unconsciously. It's quite similar the situation shown in this picture, like when you're going to sleep, the song is kept in your mind. And it was the similar situation when I was having my exam. So this got me to think about the music is actually accompanying me all the time. I still listening to music because they really makes me happy. So after realizing that, I was not that confused about myself. So I started to find if music is still here with me in my life. I found that it is actually. I pursue street dancing with some rhythmic music. I still listen to all genres of music and was brainwashed by them one by one. I even tried to play something on the garage band. So Music even followed me quietly into NTU now. So one day when I was talking to one of our greatest professors, Professor Chris Crew, um, I happen to know that he's also a piano, violin, and a flute player. That I was so surprised that he was so versatile, and he was also dedicated to academic. So he was also surprised that I once played in an orchestra, and he was so cute that he even shared the video of performing at church with me during Christmas. And this again tells me that music is still with me. I can be with music when I was talking to other people, and music actually connects me with other people. So music is still with me, but in a very different way. So now I'm no longer harsh on myself that I have to play a musical instrument to keep music by my side, because I know that I love music from the bottom of my heart. And as long as I hold love for it, music will always be with me. And not only for music, it is also for the other thing. So whatever you love, just don't be confused or struggled with what you have lost. And ask yourself if you really love it. What's been lost may not be able to pick up again, but what you can do is to change the way to love it. So this finally brought me to my point today. Whatever you treasure stays with you forever. Cherish them and let it be the best part of your life. Thank you.